Giant fans, you're always asking me questions when I go out to dinner, whatever I do in my neighborhood, and the question is always this, hey, do you like Jaxson Dart? How's he doing? So Jaxson, thanks for being here, man. We can answer some of these questions for the fans.
Yeah, no doubt. Pleasure being here. Thanks for taking the time.
You know, I think always with young quarterbacks, I like to say this, what's the big difference here compared to college?
I think, the first thing that comes to mind is just, how much the safeties can play the full field. And it's a lot harder to manipulate the defense with your eyes just because, the guys on the other side of the ball have so much experience with it. So I just think, the windows obviously get a little bit tighter as you go to the next level. But, there's so many elite players all around the field. So, the competitions is at the highest level, and I'm loving it so far.
Man, you're at practice today, and it was hot as heck out there today.
It ain't like that Mississippi heat, though.
It's not?
No.
I was going to, really? Mississippi's hotter than what it was here today?
Hotter, more humid. I felt like I was in paradise outside, football paradise today.
That's pretty funny. So the heat doesn't bother you and nothing like that? How about just throwing the football in the heat?
No, I feel good. The ball gets a little bit more tack, and
yeah.
It just feels good to be out there with the guys.
I'm speaking for all ex-quarterbacks out there my age. We hate the fact that the NFL football now, we hate it.
Why is that?
Because you get to rub them up, put mud on it, everything. Oh, how you like it, honey? Do you want it really? You know what I mean?
You like to throw it out of the box?
Hell no, I hated it.
Oh, okay.
But, the game would be over. My hands would be orange.
Yeah.
We all complained about it.
So we're getting special treatment.
So those footballs, yeah, they're great.
They're perfect, huh?
Hey, so you got some of your favorite plays. You picked them out. I'd watched them, and I said, of course he picked this one out. So it's pretty good stuff. You got the controller there.
Yeah, I kind of pick these plays. I think that sometimes when you watch the tape, as a quarterback that, there's a lot of backstory behind, plays and why they're your favorite.
Sure.
But these ones stood out to me just because of the situations that we were in. For example, right here, against LSU, we're down 2 scores. This is the last play before the fourth quarter, and was able to step up in the pocket. Show a little bunnies right there, but
well, you're trying to change everything. You're trying to change the thought process. You're down 2 scores.
Yeah.
So it's about time. It's about playing right but being tough.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that for me.
Stop it right there. Oh,
I got you.
Yeah. Did you run track in high school?
No.
Oh, I was going to say that was a hurdle. That was a good one.
No, but it was just fun, to hear the whole crowd. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks, hurdling players. So, it definitely ignited a spark in our team. We were able to come back and win this game. That
was really awesome. It really was. Is that fire your teeth? Could you feel it even with the O-line after you did it? They're coming down and congratulating you and all that?
Yeah, no, it was fun. I had a lot of guys that came up to me after that play, obviously pumped up and whatnot. But after the game, they're like, we knew that we were going to win after that play.
Wow.
Just the energy in the crowd and everything. So that was one that stood out.
It really is. I believe all that. They all thought that, I'm sure, and the crowd's like, hey, we're still in it. And making lots of noise and doing what they have to do to help you win the game. So
absolutely.
That's pretty cool. All right, what do we got here?
All right, so this is a big game against Georgia. I think Georgia hadn't lost to a team besides Alabama in, however many years. So this was a big one for us. And, they had come out at halftime, put some points on the board and kind of had a little bit of shift of momentum. And, this is a big third down play for us. And we were able to, make it count with a great catch, from a guy who's here, Juice Wells. But I just love this moment. I felt like this was kind of the icer of this game, coming out of half and answering with some points.
Yeah, I like this. I like about it. Oh, man, just your delivery here. But running back, you're looking outside, like did you know when they lined up and it's going to be this coverage, or at least you think, that you probably were going to throw this pass?
Obviously we're in a situation where we have to score points,
right?
So I'm not going to, put the ball in jeopardy of turning the ball over. But anytime that you have the defender turn his back and that your angle of your guy, that basically he's not even there, and you just got to go throw it above his head and have your guy go make a play.
Yeah, good throw. I like everything you did there. You put the mustard on it. You kept it high where it can't be intercepted. And did y'all throw a lot of seams down there?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pushed the ball down the field.
Yeah, I mean, seams are like stealing. Come on. It really is.
Yeah, you were the best at it, huh?
How'd you know that?
I'm watching the tape.
Yeah, right. Tell them the truth. Go ahead. You can tell it. I don't care.
It's because you said
I told you. That's right. I told you, so it's all good.
I didn't want to say it like that.
I'm getting old, so the hell with it. I'll talk about myself.
No doubt. I'm with you.
All right, good. What do we got here? Who's this you're playing?
Yeah, this is my last game. Yeah, so we just got an over concept with the deep post, playing off the high safety here, and kind of had a really good mesh. Pocket broke down a little bit, got outside. Great job by Jaywalk coming across the field and continuing to work, and definitely made a play.
Great. Run that back again. Just you got yourself in great position to throw this however you wanted it.
Yeah, these ones are hard when you're trying to roll out to your left as a right-handed quarterback and try to flip your hips and try to put it on a line.
Yeah, well, you weren't going to do it just running, so you had to flip your hips to make that throw. Yeah,
yes,
I can tell everything went well because the ball is really spinning hard and right on target. So real quick, you played for Lane Kiffin. I've kind of followed his career and knew his father, who coached one of my sons down in Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. Give us a little thing about Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, Lane's one of one. I don't think there's another coach in the country that's like him. I was able to build a really special relationship with him. We were always, hanging out off the field, whether it was just, chilling at his house, just talking ball, talking life, whatever it may be, going to the pickleball courts and, him getting his ass whooped on that. So we were always just competing and have a lot of fun, but definitely had a really special relationship with him.
That's great. I thought maybe that's so, but it's pretty cool that you could go and beat your head coach's butt in something.
Yeah, and then he would try to manipulate practice because he was mad because of
really.
How he
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But the offense, and I disagreed with this many times during the off season. They say, the offense is very unique. Nobody does this. I don't know how it translates to pro football. And I watched most of your games. Mm-hmm. I go, that was pro football. That's what I saw. Did you hear that, how people thought about the offense and said these things?
Yeah, I saw a few things like that. And, it's just a lazy narrative that has kind of, gone for too long. But, I knew that once, coaches and everybody was to kind of watch the tape after their seasons, after the college season finished, they were able to kind of see how much was put on the quarterback's shoulders in Lane's offense. And I just don't feel like you can really say that to a coach who has a lot of NFL guys who have had a ton of success and Heisman winners as well. So,
right.
And I definitely feel like I was put in the right situation when I was there.
So you're USC for 1 year. You go to Ole Miss for 3 years. How did you pick Ole Miss from other schools?
Yeah, so coming out of high school, I was under recruited. I didn't get at that time a Power 5 offer until almost week 5 of my senior year. So everything kind of came late. And, my biggest offer out of high school was USC.
That's pretty big.
And, unfortunately, I had a great time there, but, our coaches got fired, and I kind of knew that it was best for me to make a move, and I wanted to go play in the SEC. I wanted to play at the highest competition, highest level in the best conference. So that kind of narrowed it down to those SEC schools. Yeah. And then, what I saw with Coach Kiff and then him bringing in Coach Weiss, me and him being there at the same time, and just the blueprint of how they're going to teach me to play quarterback and help develop me for the next level. I couldn't say no to that opportunity.
Well, I gotta ask you this question. It was kind of floating around today as I was walking around that you talked to Coach Dayball, and you said what you wanted more. You wish you had 2 practices a day.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's just kind of how I am. Right. Especially any time that I make like a little mistake. I want to go back and fix it immediately. So I just told him after, day 1 of practice, I wish we could go back to the old 2 days where we had 2 practices in one day.
I'm not a big stat guy, but what you did at Ole Miss it was great. Well, you threw for a lot of yards, no doubt, almost 12,000 yards in your career. But you rushed for 1,500 yards. And I think Giant fans and everybody out there is thinking they want to see the quarterback, of course, be a good thrower and passer and all that, but they want to see him move around and make some plays with his legs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a part of my game it's kind of underrated in a way. And I ran the ball a lot, through my time at Ole Miss, so definitely have a lot of experience doing it. And I just think that when you have a quarterback who's mobile and then can make every play that he needs to, with his arm, and also extend plays with his legs, I think that it just causes a lot of stress on the defense. And I think you kind of see like nowadays how the game has changed a little bit with many more quarterbacks who have the ability to run and throw.
Yeah. I mean, how was Coach Kiffin about some of your runs, which you were careful, but not all the time? What would he say to you?
I think that he just figured me out early that I was just a competitor. And, I try to choose my matchups wisely. At times I've, kind of been a little immature when I was younger, trying to run over defensive linemen. I know at this level you you can't really do that.
Well, you could try.
You can try, yeah, for sure. But definitely want to stay clear of those guys. But, you know, I think that when you have a quarterback who has the intensity and the mindset that he's going to give it all for his team, I think that you know, kind of raises the bar and gets guys excited to know that, you know, they're going to put it all on the line for you as well.
Have you thought about just the first preseason game, getting a chance to go out there and play?
Man, I'm excited. You know, obviously it's a dream of mine as a kid to play in the NFL, and you know, this is just, you know, the start of it for me. So excited to get out there on the field, compete, and, you know, to try to put my team in the best situation to win.
That's good. Hey, look, a lot of coaches and fans, they're behind you, and I think what's gone on so far in training camps making everybody really happy. So congratulations on that, and good luck in the season.
Yeah, appreciate you.
All right, man.
Thanks for taking the time.